All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon,
Oh
guys. We're
yeah.
about to hit you with some poetry definitions and to guide you in the process. Hello, there is me. My name is Jeff,
Yep, and I'm Matthias.
and we are going to be working with you today again to we're going to define all kinds of poetry terms so that way if you hear a word like alliteration or consonants or meter or whatever
Or
and you're
Stromboli.
like, or stromboli. Have you ever written a stromboli? If you don't know what that is, even, we're going to try to help you out as best as we can. We're going to try to get through as many letters as we can. I don't, hopefully, that's more than like the letter A, but we'll see how far we go. Um, Now, before we get into that, though, just a couple of very exciting announcements. This week, we are
Oh yeah.
having our very first season 2 of our open mic at Third Way Cafe. It's going to be
Yeah.
at 7:30 p.m. for all of you Columbus sites. Does Columbus have like a word like Philadelphia is like Philadelphians or something? Columbus is Colum. I don't know.
Columbi?
I like that. Throwing out some Latin.
I'm putting that up as a proposal. Let's call
I
ourselves
like
a
that. That's our
Columbi.
first definition, Columbi. If you're a person from Columbus, if you're one of the
Sure person.
Columbi, um, come out to Third Way Cafe at 7:30 p.m. A note that, in theory, we're already full. I'm going to be honest because we posted on Eventbrite and I just randomly gave like 25 free tickets, so it's like meaningless. Like, what's a ticket that's free? But apparently they all sold out.
Look at
So
us.
there's that, and then there's also people on Facebook who did not submit on Eventbrite. It's a limited open mic. We got 15 spots
Ooh.
because I'll be honest, I'm not dragging the show out till like 10 o'clock. I'm not doing
You
that.
got to get there on time, guys.
Yes, you gotta get there on time if you want to sign up. We did have a pre-registration, so like like 5 people. We had 5 spaces that were reserved. So if you those have already been claimed. So there's still 10 spots up for grabs. If you would like to claim them, you get to read 2 poems. You have 5 minutes to do so, and it's completely free. So we hope to see you on Friday if you're located in Columbus. Um, Trying to think other news. Matthias, any poetry news on your end, sir?
I mean, just working on a couple different scripts for a couple storyboards for a couple poets right now. But I wanted to put it out there because I think one of the things that I know that you know as organizers of events know that very oftentimes when you give like specific parameters, there's poets that like to go around the parameters. So for this
Yes.
coming up Friday, when you say there's you get 2 poems and you get 5 minutes to do it, are you saying that if I have 5 poems but they're all a minute each, can I do that?
No.
Oh, okay, good,
Two
good,
poems that must be finished within a 5 minute time period. I'm not
good.
giving you. If you do 2 haiku, those are your 2 poems. Okay.
Ooh,
You
good, good.
chose. That was your choice. Okay. That
All
was
right,
your
but what
choice.
if I did one poem and the one poem was 4 minutes, and then they have another poem. The other poem is 3 minutes, so I could just go over my time, right?
No. You will be interrupted by me. I'll be saying thank. I'll be clapping you up on the stage like, "Woo,
Yeah,
good
Jeff is gonna
poem,
be
man,
throwing his
good poem."
handheld
Yep.
mic at you.
It's
He's
gonna
gonna make
be.
the sound effect. Like,
I choose violence these days. It's facts.
yeah, that's
So
gonna be
we're gonna
nice.
be escorting you off the mic. After mic. That actually
Okay,
happened at Cave Canem, like for the fellows reading. As
somebody
if you go
had.
over time, they just like clap and gradually get louder
Yeah,
until you
you know
leave.
what? I remember the first time I saw that happen at Scott's show, actually, and there was this guy, and he was just on stage, and I didn't even know there was a time limit. I don't think there was a specific like time limit, as much as it's just like, okay, when we've had enough, guys. But he was
Yep.
up there for like 8.5 minutes before they just started. All right. All right. And like as
That's how
they're
you
doing
do.
it, he's like caught off guard. He's like, and he starts like doing it super fast. Just to say, yeah, like don't make us do that. Okay. We don't want
Please
to, that's
don't.
not that we don't want to do that. So yeah, so okay. 2 poems. At most, you get 2 poems. So if you have
Yes.
3 poems, and if you got one more poem that's really, really quick, So what? Okay, that third poem. If you have all your poems done in 30 seconds, if you did 2 poems in 30 seconds, you done your time. Okay.
Although I will say there may be a special opportunity for one poet to do an extra poem.
Ooh.
I'm not going to say anything else, but there may
Let's
be a
not talk about
special
it. You just gotta be
opportunity.
there.
You gotta be there.
Okay, well, what
And
if?
let's
Oh, no, go
go
ahead. Go
on,
ahead.
please.
No,
No, I
so
insist.
what about this? So this is my last one. So let's say I get on stage, and
Hmm.
I'm not going to start my poems yet because I got to get my social medias out there. I got to talk about hey, I wrote this when I actually fell down a well one day, and during that time of me falling down the well, I was down at the bottom of the well, as you typically are when you fall down one of those, and I was just thinking to myself, man, I should write a poem about this experience. But first, let me call my nana. I called my nana for 3 hours. So just as a question, does your introduction, does it count as part of your 5 minutes, or can I get my introduction out there and then
You
start
know,
my 5 minutes?
that's a great question. I think poets in general do a really bad job of promoting themselves, so I don't
Hmm.
want to necessarily take that away. So I'll put it like this: a real quick intro, I'm okay with. I'll reserve the 5 minutes for the poem, but if it drags, I'm gonna let you know that okay, man, your 5 minutes, we rolling. You know what I mean? So I think
That's brave, Jeff.
it is brave. It's
That's brave.
it is
I don't
brave.
know, man. See, now, me personally, I'd be like, your five
I
minutes
know,
starts.
I know,
It's like a
I know,
slam, as far as I'm concerned. Your
I
five, as soon
know,
as you start engaging the crowd, that's your 5 minutes. So that's fair.
I know, I know. I'm willing. I am open to experimentation and seeing. Okay. Um, we'll see. We'll see how it rolls. If we start seeing a trend that like, oh, these 5 minutes are turning into like 15 for everybody, obviously we're gonna have to make some changes. But
Everybody, my poem is about trees. Here's a little fun fact about trees. Here's my 5 paragraph essay about trees, and we'll see
in
how
my
it goes.
painting, because my name, I am Bob Ross.
Yeah,
So
I am
so
Bob
this,
Ross.
I am Bob Ross. So that's I knew where you were going to. So I knew you're like, nope, that's for your 5 minutes. I get it.
Listen,
Um,
it's important. Like
it is
I
important.
think that a lot of times, and this is kind of for both people on both ends, right? Because I mean, and because like you've run shows. I mean, you've run shows together. I mean, you've just done a lot of we've done a lot of shows together. I think that one of the things that can be a big detractor for just is like not understanding that concept, because there's been plenty of times where I've been like, somebody will get on stage. It was that actually, you know what? Fun fact: at Seventh Draft Poetry, during the slam, this girl, and we explained the rules. I think it was Trips night hosting, and he very thoroughly explained all the rules. He said, "Hey, this is what the rules are." As soon as you start engaging the crowd, and she gets up there, and she gets like emotional. She's like, "I'm sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second," and her time started right there. She didn't know it. And so she kind of sat back there for a second, and she did her poem. And it was weird because it wasn't even like an emotionally, like it was like about like a breakup, right? So I'm like,
Mhm.
come on, man. But it was a breakup where she like triumphed at the end. I'm like, I don't think you triumphed at the end. But the way you started this poem, it doesn't feel like you won.
Right.
But yeah, it's at the end of the poem, like no, not even at the end of the poem. It was really at the start of the poem, like really in her first stanza, I would imagine. That's when we had to call time, and it was like a really big, because there's like money on the line for the
Right.
Self-Draft Poetry Slam too. So she's like really despondent. I'm just like, listen,
Mhm.
as soon as you did that little, sorry y'all, like as soon as you did that, that's where your time started. And I think a lot of times people are like, yeah, a lot of times people are like, well, I think that or they'll do that thing, and where they'll get up and they'll start their poem from their seat or something like that, or they'll start the whole thing from their seat, and they're like, that's like their introduction, and I'm like, they don't
I'm
count
pretty
that
sure
as a
you've done
poem.
that as well, Matthias. Just a heads up, but anyway,
Wait, what?
I'm pretty sure that I've seen you do that once or twice too.
No, I've done that, but that's I want to be clear. I've done that, but that's been like parts of shows that I'm a part of. So like
Fair.
I'm a part of it. Like until the showrunners know. But the problem is that a lot of people, they'll do that, and then they'll get up again. They'll get up to the mic thinking now they got 2 poems, and I'm like, that was
Oh,
was
that's
a
slick.
performance. That was a performance. So yeah, this is an important. I'm excited to see
This is
everybody
important.
there this Friday. I'm excited to see everybody perform. I just want to err on the side of knowing that some people will be like, man, how can I get 3 poems in here?
Yeah.
Three of my
No,
best
we're going to be
poems.
really hardcore on the 5 minutes poems. We're going to be hardcore on two pieces max. Yeah. If the intro is becoming an issue, then my plan right now is to not really even mention the intro part. Just say, hey guys, you get 5 minutes, 2 poems, and then if we start noticing a trend, then I could be like, hey guys, 5 minutes. So then people don't even know. So we'll see. We'll see. Also, I'm hoping that capping the list at 15 helps kind of regulate things.
So now,
We'll
so
see.
now, what if I get there and I'm late, right? And I get on the list, and you said, because like, what time? Let's say you want to end the show at, I don't know, 10 p.m. And I'm like,
Hopefully
hey, I
before then.
got.
Oh my gosh, I hope it's before then.
Okay, well,
We'll find out. Yeah,
if I get there at 10 p.m. and then I say, and I get there at 9:45, and I say, Jefferson, allow me to jump on the microphone. Am I allowed on the mic?
Look, if there's a slot, like we got 15 spots, 5 of them are already claimed. Okay, so there's basically 10 spots. If you arrive and there's still a space, I'll be honest, I don't think that's going to happen. But if you arrive and there's still a space, it's you. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I already know some people that said they're coming early to sign up.
Ooh,
now,
early.
Granted, I mean, people say things like all the time, but yeah, I mean, I imagine if you're a little bit late, you're not going to be able to read.
Dang. Well, I hope to see you guys there on time. Now, okay, so which Third Way Cafe, which location it is? Because they have 2. Shout out to Third Way Cafe for the second location across the street. So are we going to be in the already established location or in the new location?
Got you. So we're going to be in the smaller new location that is on the what side of that? That's the south side of Broad Street. So it's the one that's the smaller one. It's the newer one. It's this one that has basically the big Third Way signs on it.
Yeah, and I really love the aesthetic of that one, man, because I feel like it's like comfy, but it's like of that real cafe feel, that real cafe vibe. So it's a really perfect place for the open mic, and it's going to be a really good place to watch some people hop on the mic and express their poems.
Yeah, I like the size as well. So it's the size that you can fit a decent amount of people in there, whereas like the other space is very big. It's like if you don't have a lot going on, people can, it can feel empty. Whereas the other space, intimate. It's kind of like you don't want to go to a stadium that's like a quarter full. It's kind of like what's happening here. I think this kind of accommodates the venue. And then, I mean, worst comes to worst, we can always move to the other one if size is ever an issue. But I like having things be kind of limited in terms of space, personally.
Yeah. For sure.
So yeah, we're excited about that. A couple quick hellos, by the way. I see Roses is here. Good to see you. Actually, I had a chat with them last week, almost a week ago, which was really nice.
Wait, is it? It's Roses Joshua.
Yes, Joshua is their name. Roses that's their artist name.
Roses is the artist name. Joshua, okay.
Yes. And then we also have James.
What up, James?
Good to see you, James. Welcome back. Okay. Anything else?
No, I think covered all our bases.
Okay. So our goal for today, for the stream, for the next, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes, hour or so, we're going to be plowing through different definitions for poetry terms, trying to give as best a definition as possible. And then if we get stuck, maybe you guys can help us out, or worst comes to worst, we can turn to Google. Matthias, I might make you our Google master if that's okay with you. So if we get stuck,
I actually majored in Google in college, so a lot of people don't know that about me, but I actually have I have 2 master's degrees, one in Googling and then one lesser known master's in Binging, which I thought was a search engine, but
Worthless.
it turned out to just be Chandler Bing from Friends. And I just had to learn all of his lines. So
hang on. I got the. There you go.
could you be any corner?
And we will follow that up.
I still felt good about that joke. I feel like, I feel like it started off strong. I went with 2, not 3, because I was gonna run out, and here I am. I feel like it was solid. It's a solid effort.
James says we're tired of seeing him show up. We are not tired.
No,
James.
we're not tired of seeing you show up, James.
Never.
We're excited to see you all the time.
All right, so I'm going to show you guys what is the process for this. We're going to be using Google. So Matthias is going to be my master's degree earning Googler. So we're going to use Google this kind of discern thing. So basically, you can see right here, I have what is A, then I can change this to what is B and what is C. So we're just going to kind of go through as many things as possible. The definitions don't have to be long. It can be, if it's 5 seconds, that's cool. If it turns into the whole discussion, that's cool too. Let's maybe take turns if that's okay with you, Matthias.
Okay.
And again, if we don't know, we can just say we don't know. Matthias, how would you define meter? What is a meter in poetry?
A beat, tempo. Wait, what is meter? Oh man,
it starts hard. Oh my gosh. Hello to the Garage Poets open mic.
Shout out the Garage Poets open mic. The Garage Poets open mic. Wait, where's the Garage Poets open mic? Are you guys in Dayton?
Are you thinking of that where they do like the taxis and like that old place? It's not the same one, is it? Anyways,
no. Maybe. Oh no, that's at the taxi cab place.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I would say like it's okay. So I would say like the tempo or rhythmic structure to a poem.
Okay. Oh, we need judges. We need judges to say yes or no.
Yeah. We just be making this stuff up, guys. So yeah, we maybe.
This is a very unofficial dictionary. Do not quote us.
They threw out the dictionary I actually made.
Yep. Garage Poets open mic, by the way. They said they're in the Boston mic. Oh, but they do it online. So those of you looking let us know when your show is, so we can let people know. We're all about that Beantown. I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's essentially kind of like the rhythm and things like that. When I think meter, I think of your, like, again, like your trochees, your iams, your dactyls, your anapests, so like stress versus unstressed, like da 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 versus like da 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 da, and like things like that. And so across an entire line.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's also tied into the amount of stresses that you have. So for instance, like if you have your sonnet, like iambic pentameter, what does that even mean? When iam, it's like da 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 da, where you have unstressed and a stress. And basically iambic pentameter means you got 5 of those things. So you got da 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 da. That's basically your pattern. So that's when I say meter, that's what
pentameter.
Wait. I'm thinking of what's the never mind. Let's go to the next one.
No, when you say iambic pentameter, it's like you have like da-da, but you like penta, so 5. So it's like da-da,
yes.
da-da.
Yeah. But I was thinking about that symbol that like summons demons and things. What's the
pentagram?
Pentagram, yeah, pentagram. Your iambic pentameter.
Oh no, I was thinking about that thing that summons demons. I have a thing later on.
No.
I don't want to talk about it. No, I'm gonna need it later on for this thing.
Where's my iambic pentagram? I only summon Beelzebub when he can rhyme.
It's not even a full moon yet. What is the thing with the full moon? Is that like a?
Wait, the Graduate Poets open mic says they're 8 p.m. Eastern time, but they don't have a day. They got a day. They don't do days in Boston. They don't do them. They're too far north. Okay, alliteration. I'll handle alliteration.
Wait, so wait, are we typing it down? Like, we're done with meter?
I'm done with it.
I'm no more muted.
I'm not. I mean, if you want to write it down, you can. I'm gonna
No,
just kind of go.
no, that's fine.
I mean, we got the transcript. There's like the YouTube transcription. They can do the work. Or if someone here wants to write down our definitions for us, James, put yourself to work. I'm just kidding.
Oh, James.
Okay, Garage Poets Open Mic. They say they are Fridays. Look at this. On Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern. There's
Fridays. Where can we find you? Like, do you have like an IG or is that something that I can?
We need links.
Is that where is the open mic? Is that it's on a Zoom? Like, what's the situation?
Yeah, come on. We're trying to help you promote yourself, man. Come on, give us everything, all the details, all of them. James saying they need some inspiration. Dang it. Where's the pentagram? James wants some iambic pentagram.
Come on,
from 1500s. The Dark Lord compels him.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, I see the Garage Poets, open mic, weekly open mic with featured artists hosted by Jeff Taylor and Anna Jeffroy. Oh, it's like kind of like your name, but like with Roy at the end. So it's Anna Jeffroy, Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's on Zoom.
On Zoom, cool.
The chat keeps.
Oh no! They probably can't post the link. Got you.
Oh.
Got you. So that's on us. Sorry.
Hey guys, check out the Garage Poets on Instagram. Now is this the Zoom meeting? I imagine, does it change every time, or do you just open up the same meeting every time? The Garage Poets, good stuff.
Okay. Matthias, if you actually see a link, you might be able to post a link since you're a host, or since you're a guest.
I might have the power,
but I don't know if you do or not.
Let's find out together.
And they say it's the same. I don't know if we'll let you or not. I might be the only one. Okay. If it doesn't work there, try putting it in the private chat, Matthias, and I'll be able to see it there.
Oh wait, yeah.
People are finding them.
Let me put it in the private chat,
and we'll see. Cool. We're doing our work.
Well, that's their YouTube channel.
Okay, it's a start.
But here, let me put the Zoom link in here too.
Cool.
I'm not logged in.
Got you.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. By the way, just make sure you erase the opens in the new tab. James has found them on Threads. Look at us trying to help people out. That's what we do here.
Now the thing is, because they're going to be happening while we're happening, right? Because you're this Friday, but you're every Friday, right? Weekly.
So if you are not able, if you're not able to come to there's your Zoom link. Hopefully that works. So if you can't come to Columbus, if you're not one of the Columbi, then you can go to that. I don't. That's too close to Columbine. I can't.
Whoa! Whoa, man!
I know it got heavy in here.
Too soon.
Yeah, it's just all right. Anyways, we're gonna jump to alliteration. So, believe it or not, we originally had an agenda. Our next word is. Oh, look at this!
Yeah, we know freaking Zach. Zach's our guy.
We literally Zach was at our poetry when we featured Sos. Yeah. Yes, we know Zach. We're very familiar with Zach. Guy, man. And Zach's familiar with us too. What's up, Zach?
Yeah, what up, Zach? He knows what's up.
Yes. Okay, alliteration. We're going. Yes, Zach rules. Yes, we are aware. Alliteration. Basically, when you start words with the same letter. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I mean that when you start a run of words with the same letter, I think it kind of gives. It feels like, and you can rhyme with it too, but it gives the illusion of rhyming. You know.
I would also say, like, a lot of times it's also not even necessarily the same, but also like the same sound. Also the same sound. Okay. Let's do this. James says agendas and other things. I feel attacked. How could you be so brave and so true? Next thing, Matthias, we're on to what's this? Stanza. Stanza.
Stanza. How would I define that? Stanza is a a portion of the poem, a poem when sectioned off into portions, the individual portions being stanza, or like a grouping of like lines, maybe like a group of lines in a poem.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost like it's like, prose has paragraphs, so stanzas are basically your kind of how you would organize groups of lines in a poem.
Yeah.
Fun fact, your Italian fact. I was an Italian major in school. In
Oh,
Italians, a stanza or stanza, that means like a room, which makes sense, right? Because like a stanza is it's like a room
yeah.
in a house, and the house is the poem. That's
Hey,
true.
well, in Game of Thrones, Sansa is the leader of Winterfell now. That's if you're watching Game of Thrones.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones. 'Cause I'm not a
Hit the boo button for me.
Yes, I will,
I
with pleasure. Yes, give that.
appreciate that.
Always here to help out. Okay, a metaphor. And James is helping out with the booing. Appreciate you,
Oh,
James.
thanks, James.
Never leave a man hanging.
It takes a village.
That's a metaphor. So a metaphor is a comparison that does not use like or as. That's your most straightforward definition. But basically, I forget who said it. I was reading a book that was just talking about, or maybe it was an essay. It was a craft essay talking about metaphor. No, I think it was it a talk? I think it was a talk by Francine J. Harris. I forget who it was. Anyways, I really liked her definition, if I'm attributing it right. Where metaphor is not just a comparison without like or as, it's a comparison of two unlike things. And I thought that was really striking because obviously a metaphor can be something that are like two very like things, but you lose a lot of impact. A lot of times you're really trying to draw attention to things that normally you wouldn't associate as being together. So I really liked that definition of a metaphor.
You want to give him an example?
Like, oh God, on the spot? Yes. Why, yes, Matthias. I would love to.
That cup of water was an iceberg, like that.
Or like, like my son was a camera filming me with his eyes, or something like that. Yeah, deep.
Unless he's like an android.
Oh, dang. Roses did not watch God either. God meaning Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I get that.
Dang,
I didn't watch God either. Yeah.
I was going to give you roses, but then
that's what happens. Instead, you have to give a definition for a refrain. What is a refrain?
A line or lines that repeat throughout the course of your poem, or it's kind of like I mean, I guess it is like what a chorus is like in a song, you know what I mean? But like a line or a group of lines that repeat throughout your poem.
I appreciated that you did not refrain from telling us about refrains.
Oh, nice. Go ahead and boo yourself. Hit the boo button for us over there. Hit that. Go ahead and hit that. We're going to need you to go ahead and hit that boo button over there, Jeff.
Nice job. You deserve that. Yeah, get that boo. Get your boo. All right. Consonants. Again, they kind of similar to alliteration, where it's about having a repetition of sound, right?
Yeah.
It's just like when the sounds just keep repeating throughout a poem, or like a line. Yeah. I'm gonna keep going. I think that kind of
what are we on now?
Repetition of sounds. We are on free verse.
I would say like a free verse was just like almost like an open right. No, there was no an open right with no form or yeah, just with no form. I would say.
Yep. Yep. Not to be confused, there's another term called blank verse. Who wrote blank verse? Was it?
There's a hero called Blank Man. That's a deep cut. Maybe it's not so deep a cut, but it's a deep cut for those of you out there that know.
Right, thank you.
Shout out to Blank Man.
Our Lord and Savior, Blank Man.
Our Lord and Savior, Blank Man.
Oh, we got some Blank Man fans out here.
Yeah, yeah.
They out here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I would say blank verse. Why can I not? Whitman. I could be wrong. Someone like, I forget who it was. They wrote a lot of blank verse where it's a lot of like correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's a lot of pentameter, but it's not rhyming. So it's just like unrhymed all the time. But anyways, free verse, again, you're not having a set meter and you're not having a set rhyme scheme. Okay, that's typical things. And that diction. By the way, again, these are very unofficial definitions. So if you guys have better definitions, feel free to give them. Diction. Diction is, when I think diction, a lot of times I kind of think word choice. So for instance, and also to a degree register. So for instance, if you're writing in the style of like an academic, that's going to affect your word choice. If you're writing in the style of like a 5-year-old, that's going to affect some of your word choice and also your register as well. So those are the things that kind of stand out to me for diction. Other things you want to add there, Matthias? Put you on the spot.
No, I mean, I think that's really
okay.
That makes sense.
We'll keep going. Yeah. Alliteration we already talked about. Assonance. Did we already talk about assonance as well? We talked about consonants.
Wait, did we talk about it? No, we did talk about consonants. Yeah,
we talked about consonants, but we did not talk about assonance. Assonance. Good sir.
Let's Google it. No, I feel like it's just hard for me to describe. Oh no, it's like when you like stress certain like syllables. Like when you stress certain syllables. Here, let me look it up.
Repetition again, but I want to say it's
yeah, but you're like stressing certain things.
Internal vowel sounds.
Yeah, but stress syllables.
So it's about sounds, not letters.
To each other for them to echo. To be discernible.
So, for instance, they give the example: he fell asleep under a cherry tree. The assonance would be he, sleep, and then tree, because you have the repetition of those vowel sounds. So when you hear assonance, repetition of vowel sounds; consonants, more that repetition of consonant sounds. So that's your kind of way to kind of think about those. The chat has died ever since Blank Man. We got really excited about Blank Man.
We got Blank Man, and everybody was like, we've had enough. That's what this entire podcast has been heading to. Just the mention of Blank Man.
I think we talked about rhythm already. So let's move on to some B's. We got a ballad.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, what is a ballad in poetry? Oh, we got some deep questions. I'm looking at what is beauty in what is birds in poetry. I'm excited for it. A ballad. When I think ballad, ballad is music, like kind of like I want to say kind of like usually a longer form. Usually when you think of your poetry ballads, they're super long, and a lot of times they have kind of like a narrative structure to them.
I'd agree.
Thanks. Yeah. What's up, James? If you have to go, we totally understand. Thanks for burning boards and limbs. I know that there was a storm. I wonder if it's associated with that. Okay. Too much. Oh, okay. Don't burn everything. Take care, James. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate you.
See you, James.
Blank verse I also just talked about, so I'm gonna jump down. Matthias, what's blazon? Blazon. I do not know this term. I have never.
Yeah, me either. Let's take a look.
All right. What is Captain Google going to tell us? A blazon. A blazon?
Okay. display prominently or vividly.
Oh, do we have like an example?
Yeah. What is an example? Yeah. How do I? Now it's just people talking about Blazon. It's like I need to publish widely, proclaim, to describe in technical terms. What is the purpose of a Blazon? Is generally designed to eliminate ambiguity of interpretation, to be as concise as possible, and to avoid repetition and extraneous punctuation. It's kind of like what you do to poems.
I am a Blazon. I feel like
I am a Blazon.
If I were a Pokemon, my name would be Blazon.
Let's go ahead and boo yourself.
Let's
Let's go ahead and let's boo it up. I think that was needed.
I don't know why Rose is saying this, but we will not kill you off.
Don't kill me off. I'm a main character. Oh, okay. Oh, because Game of Thrones. But like, here's the in Game of Thrones, main characters are getting killed off, man. So you just gotta hope that you're just not like a good enough character to kill. He's just hanging around there.
Yeah. So is a Blazon like a poem? Is it like a line? Is it an image? Is it a?
Hold on.
It's a way of life.
Yeah, I'm spelling it right. Let's do in poetry. What is Blazon in poetry? Blazon, French for coat of arms or shield. A literary blazon or blazon catalogs the physical attributes of a subject, usually female. The device was made popular by Petrarch and
long time
used extensively by Elizabethan poets. Oh,
makes sense. It's like you're thinking like old sonnets.
Wherefore art thou, homeo? For you were the homie. Oh.
I'm gonna keep going. A beat. Beat, I imagine is similar to like for instance, like meter and things like that. By the way, Roses likes my Pokemon, so I'm just saying. We'd have to think of what if Blazon were a palm, what would his moveset be besides like tail whip and
if Blazon was a Pokemon, what would his moveset be?
What would his moveset be?
Eliminate like words, maybe.
So like cut, slash.
Yeah.
Slash.
Raise
slash
up.
is my move, by the way. Yeah.
Do you still have Pokemon moves like
I know first generation. Beyond first generation, I can't tell you.
Oh man, okay.
But okay, so like a beat. When I think of beat, again, I'm thinking like feet and meter. So like whether you have like an IM like da da, or you're like a Trochee like da da, and things like that. So it's just kind of like your feet sets up your meter. Ballad we've done. Matthias, what is before in poetry?
What is before in poetry? I feel like that's like a trick question.
I will allow it. This will be a great answer. What is before in poetry, Matthias? How would you define before? Don't think too hard on it.
It's just
I don't think it's a real term.
Is it just a statement of something that happened prior to now?
The temporal.
Prior?
Yes. Fine.
or like before, like you stand before me.
Yes.
As in something that is in front of or in the fore of.
I imagine all these definitions are right. I'm sure that would answer. I don't know who would even ask that. What is the context? I'm going to move on to the next question. What is beauty in poetry? My God, how do you even answer that?
that feels incredibly subjective. Like, there's no way for somebody to be like, what's beautiful? Like, no, that's not beautiful at all.
Also, because like, are we talking about inside the poem itself, or are we talking from a reader's perspective? But so let's try to handle both. So I think that beauty in poetry, from inside of a poem's perspective, is something that attracts the attention of the speaker. Now, if you ask me more generally, no, but like for poetry, what is beauty in poetry? Beauty in poetry is the ability to inspire, I would say, emotional change in your reader. That's
I
my
mean, that's it. Because I feel like
definition.
that could be taken the other direction. Because I feel like something that attracts your attention could also be like hideous, right?
It can. But isn't there also beauty in the hideous, Matthias?
Fair enough. Well played. Is there beauty in the hideous? Look at me.
Just like
It's like a line from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Going from there, I'm gonna have what is background in poetry?
Wait, is it my turn or is it your turn? Is it my turn?
It is your turn. How would you define what is background?
It's just I feel like it's just the definition, but I mean in writing, I would say background is it's color or description regarding the context of a character or a narrative. Like you're
Okay.
giving it
Yeah.
that's your background.
When you're reading a poem, do you want to know about kind of the poet and what was happening in their life as they were writing the poem, or you just want to just have the poem?
I would say just have the poem, but when I'm talking about the background, I'm talking about like maybe somebody in the poem requires this bit of background in order for the poem, like for the progression of the poem. Like I would say an easy maybe example is in my poem in Kobe. Like in Kobe, the first I would say stanza, like two stanza isn't or stanza in Kobe, if it was written out, or the first like two stanzas that is pretty much background for the rest of the poem because it sets up this concept of people saying Kobe. It sets up this concept of this kid that plays basketball really well in our neighborhood that was young. And then it transitions into, I would say, kind of the main plot of the poem, which is him dying and then things happening afterwards. So, I mean, if we're talking about background in the poem, if I had to give an instance where that is background, like that's the closest thing that I could maybe imagine. Maybe.
Okay. All that.
Just say on Friday, if you come to the open mic on Friday, we do not want the background of your poem. I promise you, we don't. Just say, because here's the thing:
do the poem.
A lot of times, you can suck the energy out of your poem by like trying to explain it too much. You know what I mean? Like you might be trying. You know what? If you do like, try this. Like do the little blind taste test for like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and then but instead of like doing it, just like put the blindfolds on and like put the blindfold on somebody else, and then just give them two different things of Pepsi. Like they're gonna choose one. They're gonna be like, man, like no, that one on the left tasted really good. Because you have no context, you don't know which one is which, you don't know what's going on. You're just really immersed in the flavor. And I just feel like that's the same thing with poems. I think, or with a lot of poems. Maybe there's some poems that you need to know some information about, maybe. But for most of the times, I think poets, I think they're trying to buttress up the quality of their poem by explaining it and being like, well, if you don't understand it, this is what I want you to understand. Well, maybe maybe the better thing would be, hey, if you revisit your poem, then maybe you could figure out how to incorporate that texture into the poem. But
I think that I was watching a talk just talking about speaking and things like that.
Yeah.
And this is more about online interactions, but it also deals with in person too. When you meet someone the first time, even if they already know you, and they just see you, like for the first time that day, the very first thing you say has a huge impact on basically people's perceptions of you. And so a lot of times people are actually wasting their first move in an online situation. What that tends to be is, people sign on to like a Zoom call. And what's the first thing they say? Like, hey, can you hear me? Hi. Or things like that, is this thing on? And like, or or things like that, or no, oh sorry I'm late, and things like that. And that's just really that's your first opportunity, and you kind of just wasted it. So really being meaningful and intentional about the very first thing you say, and I think that also applies to when you're on the microphone. Um, the first time you step on stage, um, you know, the
Yeah.
first thing you do has a lot of power, and so really trying to pay attention to that very first interaction. Get that across first. Like if you need to introduce yourself first, don't be like, hi, my name's Jeff. I do poetry. No, like it's not. It's like, hi, my name's Jeff. Like a lot of times, like falling intonation patterns, like the difference is like Jeff rising versus Jeff like falling. A lot of times like falling intonation associated more with like authority, power, um, self-esteem, confidence. Um, so just like little things like that have a big difference. And then like start off with that. And then if you have a question about audio, like, hi, my name's Jeff. By the way, can you guys hear me okay? Like something like that is a stronger opening than be like, can you guys hear me okay? My name's Jeff. Like that's not a super strong opening.
For sure.
Other things, Garage Post, open mic, they say, if you have to talk for 10 minutes for me to understand your 2-minute poem, then you should write a better poem, or you should write a story. Do prose.
I wish more people wrote 2-minute poems, but that's not the here. Yeah,
I mean, if it's a long poem that's like justified, I'm cool with it. It's just
a lot of not justified. You got to let the poem tell you how long it should be. I think a lot of times we're trying to force the poem to be longer so we can get some more space or time on stage. But maybe the poem is like, it's like begging you to be like a 45-second poem, and you're like, nah, it's a 3-minute poem.
Yeah, I think that's tricky with slam because slam kind of encourages you to do these specific time limits. You're like, man, I want to stretch this a little bit more because I don't want it to be too short. So you get stuck with filler sometimes.
I think people have a problem with like genuine impact and not like I think manufactured impact. And what I mean by that is that like you stay on stage for as long as you can because you think it gives you it edges the impression of you being on stage in front of the judges in their minds. But there was a slam in Minneapolis that I went to, like this was years ago, and like to this day I remember it was like this hip hop poem, but it was like this hip hop like in like this like tragedy, like there's like some kind of like tragedy, like they weren't rapping but they were talking about hip hop and like tragedies that happen in hip hop, and it was just like girl that did this poem, and I kid you not, it was like maybe like a minute and 5 seconds, and that poem like won the round because of like how brilliant it was. And again, this was like 5 years ago, maybe, so it was a long time ago. But it's just to say, like, I still vividly remember like where I was sitting when I was listening to that poem, when I was listening to her perform that poem, and that poem won the round because as opposed to being like, I need to stay on stage for as long as I can so that you guys remember me. It's like it could be that the biggest impact that I could have is getting out of here right now.
Yeah, that is the power move. Like someone finishing a 1-minute poem versus someone filling up the entire time. It's like, I have so much faith in my poem that I'm going to leave the rest of my time, which is twice as long as my poem, to just the next poet because I have so much faith in what I've just performed.
That's what I do at work. I'm just like, halfway through the day, I'm just like, hey guys, I got such confidence in my job, so much confidence in the work that I've done today that I'm not even gonna say for the second half. I'm just gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys.
Now we're getting into discussions about pricing and things like that. If you're getting paid by the hour, you're in a disadvantageous situation. I'm going to define for you birds and poetry. What is birds and poetry?
Well, they're different from regular birds, I'll tell you that. These birds. I know why these cage bird sings.
I think this actually does touch on a really important point, so in your poems, when you're bringing up imagery, it's like if you're like, okay, I need a flower, or I need a tree, or I need an animal, or I need a type of bird, everything has a specific meaning. You know, one flower might be used like for funerals. One flower might be used for like you know, giving to like a lover. One flower might mean
Mhm.
like rebirth. You know, everything has a meaning, and that includes birds as well. What is it like? I think a lot of times birds in general are often associated with like death or like bad news or things like that, especially your
I
like
was
your
like a
ravens and your
dove. A
crows and
dove
things
can
like
be like
that.
peace.
The doves can be peace, yeah. Um, and things. I think a lot of times though, a lot of the bird images tend to be slightly negative.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
what I would say going back to that point for birds of poetry, do research. You know, anytime you're adding in a specific animal or plant or tree, find out what the symbolism is, because maybe you want to change it to something that fits the tone of your piece a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I think
Um,
details like that are oftentimes missed. They're just big missed opportunities,
yeah.
because you have some opportunities to really strengthen your poem in a way that it's not just the surface level. Like you're doing some real research into your poem that left from, hey, I just wanted birds here, or I just wanted flowers here, just wanted this time of day. Maybe a specific day of the year has some significance.
Hmm.
Maybe even like the positioning of the sun and on like at that, like there's a lot of things that are tools in detail that you can use in your poem that can really add some texture and color to your poem.
Matthias is just trying to run away from the next question, which is
This next one.
what motif is addressed in both forms of poetry? Thank you,
Both
Google.
forms of poetry. Like what? Just the two? That's I don't have that. What,
No
can you
answer for
click
that.
on that? What, but like I don't even know. Like I feel like that's an ancillary search to another search. So it's like
The motif that is being addressed in both forms of poetry presented is the motif of night.
what?
This is from Brainly.
That's Batman's form of poetry. Swear to me.
Okay. Constance we talked about. We're on C's. Um, I'm thinking let's do C's and I'm curious to see what Z's are, and then we can kind of call it a night.
Cool.
But let's do C's. A couplet. What is a couplet in poetry? Cool. A couplet
Ooh,
in poetry is basically two lines that you basically it's a stanza of two lines.
yeah.
That's the short
They
definition.
go
There's
together
also
because they're a couple.
thank you, Matthias, for that.
Anytime.
Wise words. There's also the heroic couplet, which is basically when you finish a poem with a couplet and they rhyme. Okay. It's like you see that, for instance, last sonnets and things. That is your heroic couplet. Relatively simple there. Matthias, you get some Latin in here. What is a caesura?
Caesura. Yeah, we're gonna look that one up.
Those are basically like your things like your punctuation marks and things like that cause breaks. Like your commas,
A
periods.
stop or pause, and like because it's I don't maybe it's just too late in the day for me to.
You're
Yeah, I
good.
was saying a stop or pause in a metrical line, often marked by punctuation or by a grammatical boundary, such as a phrase or a clause.
So,
Yeah.
in simpler words, it's your comma, it's your period, it's your semicolon, anything that causes you to stop. Okay. Roses is loving the Batman references, but we need more Blank Man. Is it Blank Man?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
but
need
we
more
need more
Blank Man.
Blank Man in
We
here.
do need more Blank Man.
Does
I
Blank
would
Man
like
have
to
a
see like
catchphrase?
Batman versus Blank Man just to see kind of what I personally am rooting for Blank Man, but
Does
that's
Blank
just
Man
me.
have like a catchphrase?
It's Blank Man.
Oh, is that the phrase?
hold on. Let me.
I'll let you. All right, Matthias is gonna go heavy on the Blank Man. Um, what is poetry and creative writing? Oh my gosh. Poetry is the delivery of emotion and change in exploration and discovery through writing. It's the art of writing. Are you busy? Do you agree with this? Do you disagree? You want to fight about it?
No, I'm on the same page.
You heard nothing because you're searching for Blank Man references.
I was gonna send it to you.
It's from a movie?
You've never seen Blank Man?
Are you surprised?
Come on, man.
Wait, is it more likely I've seen Blank Man or Game of Thrones? I mean, let's be honest. I've seen neither.
I feel like for you, I would think that Blank Man would make more sense.
What year did Blank Man come out?
94.
Hmm.
It's the Wayans, but it's Damon Wayans.
Oh wow, this is very different than okay. Yeah, I definitely have not seen it in this case. I'm expecting like some like Marvel superhero, but this is obviously very different.
Yeah, no, I just put it in our private chat. You gotta check it out.
Okay. We can all experience Blank Man later together. It's gonna open. You have to remove that part that says open in the new tab, but there you go. I don't know why it always does that. Okay. Matthias, what is a conceit in poetry? What is a conceit?
Hold on, this thing is playing in my ear. Hold on.
Oh, you got Blank Man playing in your
I didn't mean to like I clicked out of it and then
Matthias clicked the link.
Crap. Where's my window?
You can't click away Blank Man. I feel like your conceit is like your kind of like your central argument or like your central.
It stopped. Okay. So what is a conceit? I don't know. Like, is that like your like I would say like your central like theme or like the?
I feel like it's like kind of like the
concept around your poem.
Like I think it's like related to those things. It's your.
But it's like
Oh, this is actually more technical. This is more technical than I thought it was.
Like
Here's your definition. I'm going to just copy and paste this. This says like a type of poetry that uses an extended metaphor, also known as conceit. So when you think conceit, think extended metaphor. It's a little different than I thought it was. To explore a concept or theme in depth. Now that aspect of it, I wasn't aware that it was specifically about the extended metaphor section.
Yeah.
Okay, it's you want to connect.
I knew metaphor had something to do with it, but I couldn't like.
Judges will not give you credit, but thank you for saying that.
I feel like that's a half point.
Connotation. So connotation is like the kind of the inference that you allow your reader to imply based on something that you have said.
Connotate.
That's how I would define that. How would you define that with any other additions?
No, I think that's about accurate, actually.
Okay. How would you define contrast? What is contrast, Matthias?
Contrast. It's like differences or the difference between two or more things, I would say.
I feel like trying to point out things that are similar to differences. I think it's I think that's fair. When I hear this next one, so what is cacophony? When I hear cacophony, I think like very jarring, disjointed, unpleasant, even sounds. Right? And then consonants and caesura, we both talked about those. So I'm curious about the Z word. So I'm going to jump all the way to the last. There's not even a lot here. All right.
Was that yours?
So let's talk about zeugma. Zeugma? Zuigma. Matthias, are you familiar with this term at all?
I am not. Zeugma is a literary term for using one word to modify two other words in two different ways. An example of a zeugma
Oh
is
wow.
she broke his car and his heart. Ooh, yeah, because it's like you're using one word to describe two different scenarios.
Does
Like she
it
broke
have
his
to
car
be?
and his heart.
I feel like that's a very weird term for something that's actually simpler when you actually see it in practice. Because that definition was kind of intimidating, and then you see this example, like, oh, that makes sense.
I feel like the definition seemed like it made sense. The word, like,
The
why
word
is
is very. I Zoogma all the time. I went to my Zoogma class yesterday at the gym. Does it have to be like concrete to abstract, like in this case, or is there something doesn't really say?
It doesn't really say, but I would imagine that's the direction it would have to go. Unless are you talking about like from abstract to well,
I don't.
she broke his because that's from. I mean, because I guess because you could go. I mean, you could just. Are you talking about like the directionality of it? Could you
Yeah.
just switch it? Like she broke his heart and his car.
Or like no, I was more like when you're using it, like can you have like two literal concrete things, like she broke his car and his pencil, or like something like that?
Well, no, I think it has to take on a different using one word to modify two other words in two different ways, and so I think the modification has to be
Okay.
like
So in
a
this
different
case,
version of broke.
so in this case, she broke his car. That's like kind of like the physically,
Yeah, because I feel like you could do like she broke his car and his budget. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's a breaking his budget means like you just exceeded his budget as opposed to literally, you know what I mean, breaking like or physically breaking his vehicle. Whereas breaking your car seems like that's a you broke his car. But I'm like if she's just like from your example, like breaking his car and that doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah.
I like that term.
I do. It's Zuma. It's solid.
Like Zuma,
what do you guys think about Zuma?
Hater.
Maybe we should just transition this whole thing. The Zugma open mic.
All right, let's do one more. I don't know what this is, so I'm just gonna click it.
What is this?
What is zoomorphism? Before I click it, do you think it has to do with animals or no?
It feels like it has something to do with animals. Like maybe like some kind of anthropomorphizing, like, but like making it specific towards animals.
I also lost the word. Let's see. It was zoomorphism, right? Zoomorphism for the win.
There we go.
Yay, it does have animals. Look at us.
Yeah, boy.
Look at us. We did it. All right, zoomorphism. It means to assign animal qualities to a non-animal subject. Oh, that's really interesting. So it's kind of like it's like anthropomorphism, like human qualities to a thing, but it's the opposite. Animal qualities to non-animals.
I just said that.
Let me say it again louder. Let's get this guy out of here. So it is basically to assign.
You know how like Timon and Pumbaa, like Timon is always like, or Pumbaa, he's always actually given the idea, but then Timon just says it in a different way, and then everybody agrees.
Yes,
nice,
100%. It's just like in The Lion King, you know how to. I'm sorry.
Go ahead for yourself. Go ahead.
Man, that's 3 times tonight. Man, that's
I think that's
worse
4
than every time. Can't count. Joshua's going to try to fit this in the conversation tomorrow. Yeah, Zoogma and also zoomorphism, both of them. Please, I like this because I think anthropomorphism gets all the credit, but zoomorphism is really where it's at.
Zoomorphism is where it's at.
Yeah. So they give a real quick example. The ocean roared. There you go. Okay. I feel it's kind of tricky. Like, so like if you said like my boss growled at me, would that be zoomorphism?
No, No, I mean not quite because I feel like people can growl.
But that's, I mean, so that's kind of where I think it gets a little bit interesting. Is like what separates, where
People
do
can
we
hiss too.
define the
That was
animal
about it.
versus the human?
We are
Is
animals.
we are the animals? Are we? It's like, yeah. All right. Um. So that gives you a bunch of definitions to start building up your poetry dictionary. Matthias, how'd you feel about this exercise?
I felt great about it. I feel like my masters in googling really kind of came in handy in a situation like this. And this is ironically enough, this is the first time I've ever had to use my masters in googling, and that was 8 years of college. So
That's
I am
congratulations.
$500,000 in debt from that degree, and I only used it
Fortunately,
for
the
this month.
the Binging degree was free though, so that's
The Binging degree was free. Could it be more affordable?
they paid me to take it.
They wouldn't let me leave the campus until I had the credit. They actually were giving them away at the front.
Cool. All right, guys. So again, just some quick reminders of things that are happening. So tomorrow, we have our Wednesday webinar. So for those of you interested in writing, in trying to take your writing and make it into a course, whether it's a video course, a workshop, a seminar, even just a video, maybe it's not even a course, maybe you just want to make like a YouTube video on a thing, but you're not sure how to do that with your writing. That's what we do. So at 9 o'clock every single Wednesday, we meet and we discuss your work. If that sounds like something you're interested in doing, you can reach out to us at theversuspoetry.com. Also take a look at Threads. I'll be posting some links to that tomorrow. It'll be great to see you there. Roses wants us to know we are now entering the Twilight Zone. Thanks to Matthias. Thank you, Matthias. Also, if you're Columbi, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Columbi. If you're
your
one
fellow
of us,
Columbi.
if your fellow Columbi are going to be doing a poetry open mic at Third Way Cafe on Friday at 7:30 p.m. We would love to see you there. 2 poems, 5-minute maximum for your reading. You didn't hear from us, but if you can try to sneak in a little bit of an intro, but don't go crazy long, otherwise I will cut that out. I promise you. And of course, our open mic is completely free.
Yeah.
Matthias, anything else?
No, that's it, man.
All right. Well then, on that note,
we believe in ourselves.
We did more than we should have. My name is Jeff.
I'm Matthias.
Thank you guys for being with us. We appreciate you, Roses, James. Check out also the Garage Poets open mic on Friday. We posted the Zoom link earlier. You can find that in the chat. So you can see that again on Fridays. We'll see you all later. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good afternoon. Take care, guys. Bye.